Good evening, PVFL. This is your host, John Gillespie, for your weekly podcast, Commissioner's Corner, the KAEP. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday evening out there in the PVFL universe. We have a lot to discuss, guys, so let me get right into it. Really quick, though, shout out to Pete Serpa, our producer, for making this podcast possible. Alright, guys, getting right into our game of the week. This game did not disappoint, fellas. Secret Squirrel versus the Little Lamb. 142-86 in favor of Secret Squirrel. What a performance. After going 1-3, Secret Squirrel has gone 2-0 and is now back at 500 and back in the playoff picture. Her top performer was a staggering 36 points from Melvin Gordon, 83 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns. Guys, when you get 36 points from running back, it usually equals success. Other performers of note, Golden Tate, 7 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. And the Ravens defense, 2 touchdowns, 2 fumble recoveries, and 21 points allowed, respectively. 20 points there and 22.6 points for Golden Tate. And on Little Lamb's side, top performer, Evan Ingram, the tight end out of New York. I mean, honestly, guys, who else is Eli Manning going to throw to? So expect Evan Ingram to be a target monster. 5 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown, in tune to 19.2 fantasy points. Also, another of note, Jordan Howard, 18.6 fantasy points on 167 rushing yards on 36 carries. Guys, that workload is ridiculous. So look ahead to Jordan Howard having a massive workload going forward. So again, guys, your game of the week, Secret Squirrel 142.6 over the Little Lamb 86.1, and it improves to 3-3. Ethan, a league worst 1-5. Moving on. Hey guys, I was just kidding. That wasn't the game of the week. I was just messing with Pedro there. Gotcha, Pedro. The real game of the week here, no shock. Pedro has earned himself the nickname, the Monday Night Mayhem himself, the Chief. 128.7 over Belichick yourself, 126.9. Guys, I have to be honest. When I looked at this game, I thought for sure when I was up 20 points, I thought I had Pedro down dead to rights. I thought this game was over. I wrote it off as an automatic win. Boy, oh boy, was I wrong. To Pedro's top performer, Ryan Suckup, 5 for 5 on field goals, 3 for 3 on extra points, in tune to 21. Let me repeat that. 21 fantasy points. Suckup gets the game of the week, the MVP of the week. Pedro, I mean, 99 times out of 100, if you're down by 20 with a kicker left, you're going to lose. This happened to you that one time, that 1% chance. Of course, it has to be against me. Congratulations, Pedro. Another performer of note who put him in this position to begin with, Larry Legend himself, 10 catches, 138 yards, and a touchdown, in tune to 27.8 fantasy points. Guys, Larry's the reason Pedro's ever to sneak that win out with a kicker. Now for Belichick herself, his top performer is no surprise here, Le'Veon Bell. 179 yards rushing and a touchdown, in tune to 28.1 fantasy points. And of course, Gronk! 6 catches, 83 yards, and 2 touchdowns, in tune to 26.3 fantasy points. Alright guys, I need to take a second here to give you all you owners out there who gave me a hard time, who harassed me, Ethan Taylor, about trading for Matt Ryan. Gave me hell, guys. You made me work for this trade, and what do I get out of it? I get a putrid 11.9 fantasy points, guys. All the garbage you put me through for this trade, and this is what happens. You see, Tyrod Taylor has been better and probably will be better than Matt Ryan. And look at me giving up Marty B and Tyrod for Matt Ryan because of you jokesters. I digress. Do I have faith that Matt Ryan will turn it around? Yes. I'm praying he does. Because Jesus, 11 points. Come on! Big guys, fun fact. My best week was week 3 at a quarterback play. A putrid 12.5 points by Tyrod Taylor. That was my best quarterback week of the whole season. 12 points! But anyways, congratulations, Pedro. You improved to 4-2. Belichick yourself slides to 3-3. Again, Pedro wins 128.7 to 126.9 over Belichick yourself. Moving on. Silent Ones versus Killer Bealers. Killer Bealer has actually ended the Silent Ones win streak and created one of his own. 106.9 over 95.1. Nick's top performer is Devontae Adams, 16.4 points. 5 catches, 54 yards, and a touchdown. Very impressive. For all you guys who let's take a moment and to mourn the loss of Aaron Rodgers. I'll get to more of that in a second. but in spite of that, Devontae had a good week, 16.4 points. And as far as for Ivan, his top performer continues to impress. Leonard, the man Fournette, 130 yards and a touchdown and 21.8 fantasy points. Ivan Rodriguez is 2-4. Killer Bealers is 2-4. Really don't expect these teams to make any playoff noise, but you never know. Moving on. Orange Crush versus the Thirsty King. Which, as a matter of fact, congratulations, Ethan, for getting married this weekend. Proud of you, buddy. You are definitely no longer thirsty. I'm sure you've quenched yourself multiple times by now. It is Tuesday evening, so I'm sure you're well hydrated, if you know what I mean. Orange Crush wins 109.6 to 83.7. And this is the weakest matchup of the week as far as quarterbacks. You get 0.7 out of Aaron Rodgers because of his injury, and 2.4 out of Jameis Winston because of his injury. In spite of that 0.7, Juan, the other Guzman, wins. His top performer, Mike Evans, 18.5 fantasy points on 3 catches, 95 yards, and a touchdown. Well, after that blistering start from Todd Gurley, he has definitely calmed down. He was a beast. The last 2 weeks he's been pedestrian. He has a tough schedule going forward. I don't know if he'll be able to recreate that fantasy output in the beginning, but we will see. And of course, another top performer for Juan here is Mark Ingram. 30 points. Jesus, how did I miss that? 114 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a fumble. In tune to 30 points from Mark Ingram. Congratulations, Juan. You improved to 5-1. Thirsty King, you are 3-3. Ethan's top performer, Cameron Brate. 6 catches, 76 yards, and a touchdown. In tune to 19.6 fantasy points. Guys, I want to take a second. Let's give a moment of silence for Orange Crush in his title hopes after losing Aaron Rodgers. Alright, Juan, that moment of silence was for you. We're praying for you, brother. You do have Cam Newton on your bench. He's solid, but he is no Aaron Rodgers. So you definitely lose the edge in the quarterback matchup each week. Because if you have Rodgers on your team, honestly, you have a advantage at quarterback every week. But now that is no longer the case. So that kind of brings your team back to earth a little bit there, Juan. We will be watching your performance here on out. Again, Juan 5-1, Ethan 3-3. Moving on to the final game on the tally, I Love TB versus What's Cooking. Guys, what a shock. Peter Serpa has lost to another playoff team. He is now 0-3 versus teams at or above 500, and 3-0 versus teams that are under 500. Guys, this is who Peter Serpa's team is now. No surprises. He will beat the teams he's supposed to beat, and he will lose to the teams that he cannot compete with. That is the way it's going to be. So I'd be shocked if he makes the playoffs, because he's actually going to have to beat a team above 500 to get there, and I don't see that happening with this roster. But his top performer is actually Kirk Cousins, Captain Kirk himself. You like that? I know I do. 330 yards, 3 touchdowns for Kirk Cousins. And for Austin on his side, his top performer, Antonio Brown. Once again, what can Brown do for you? A whole lot. 8 catches, 155 yards, and a touchdown, and to 29.5 fantasy points. Austin Bennett is 4-2. Pete Serpa 3-3. All right, guys, that wraps up today's show of the Cap. I hope you enjoyed everything. You have a good week ahead. We have a good game on Thursday night, the Chiefs versus the Raiders. So look forward to that, guys. But until next time, this is your host, John Gillespie, for your podcast, Commissioner's Corner. Go Packers.